incentive. He practically shoved us out the door. He was putting up a good front. I know he was nervous. Simon did a U-turn into the dusty parking lot at Red's Diner, circled the flashing red sign, and pulled back onto Route 7, Bayswater Road. Amy angled the air vent toward her face. "So," she said, "what are you leading with this week?" She often asked this. Sometimes he made up absurd stories of UFO sightings over Red Paint Bay or terrorist groups training out by the old gravel pits to avoid mentioning what always filled page 1. Tedious articles about variance applications and town meeting procedures. Tonight, he just wasn't in the mood to pretend. "I suppose I'll play up that guy who lost his toe in the landfill accident last month. He's filed suit against the town. I was thinking of the headline, 'Big Toe Worth $500,000?' Provocative question. Right. The city papers will be all over it for follow-ups." He came up fast on a turning car, and Amy stiffened against her seat as he veered onto the gravel shoulder, then back onto solid road. He drove past Black Bear Miniature Golf and 10-Pin Alley, neither with any visible signs of life. What were the other 7,140 citizens of Red Paint doing in their houses at this hour, watching some alternative reality on TV? "I was thinking of a new tagline for the Register," he said. "Nothing happens, and we report it." Catchy. It's actually the slogan for a Buddhist newspaper, so it's much deeper than it seems. Two bright lights came up quickly in the rearview mirror. White discs, then turned off abruptly, as if disappearing into the woods. He kept watching, expecting a police car to appear, blue lights flashing in hot pursuit. He would turn around and follow, of course, just like in his reporter days in Portland. He saw nothing. "You know when the last murder was in Red Paint?" Amy took a long drink from her water bottle. "It must have been before we bought the house. At least 10 years. 20 years ago this week, a biker was shot outside the Mechanic Pub. All that time since without a killing." "You sound disappointed." Maybe he was. A murder focused the mind of a small town as no other event could. A murder could make people feel like victims and ask what the world was coming to. A murder could make them lock their doors at night. And, of course, people bought papers to read every grisly detail. "It's just surprising," he said. "You figure somebody would pick up a loose .22 once in a while to settle an argument." The giant Burger World sign came into view, and Amy braced one hand against the dashboard. He turned into the takeout lane with exaggerated slowness, inched up to the large plastic ear, and leaned out the window. "One cheeseburger, well done, and regular fries." "Would you like to maxi-size your order for another $1, sir?" The voice was gentle and soft, a young girl's voice that he hadn't heard before. She sounded pretty to him, but he couldn't say why. He considered making up some reason to go inside and see, a test of his intuition. "Sir?" "Yes. I mean, no." "Okay," the sweet voice said. "That will be $3.74. Please pull up to the next window and have a nice night." As the Toyota crept forward, Amy ducked her head into the middle of the car and called out, "Thank you," which seemed unnecessary to him since she wasn't part of the transaction. But harmless. Just Amy. "You know," she said, settling back into her seat. "What?" "It wouldn't hurt you to be more friendly with people." "Which people?" "The girl back there." He glanced over his shoulder. "You want me to be more friendly ordering a cheeseburger and fries from a giant clown's ear?" "You can be terse sometimes." "I'm succinct, not terse." The teenager inside that ear, or wherever she is, could care less as long as I order quickly. They run on volume here, not friendliness. Simon took a $5 bill out of his wallet. "Does this have anything to do with the Friendliest Town sign?"